going to Washington, and do you plan to meet any officials from the Trump administration? And if so, I see in your remarks that you have totally rejected the president's idea of pulling all Palestinians out of Gaza and making it into the East Riviera.
Well, I think the paraphrasing is yours, Edie, if I may. I'm not going to Washington this time, but I'll be back in a few weeks, and I hope to meet with a number of American officials in the region. In this case, they travel so much, you don't have to go to Washington. You might actually catch them closer to home, so to speak. And of course, we will be in contact with all officials, because the UN, as I stated very clearly, wants to be supportive to all efforts. We're not at the negotiations table. Now, I think the Secretary General, the Palestinians themselves, countries of the region have been very clear from the first second that forced displacement of the Palestinians from Gaza is both not acceptable, it's a violation of international law, and Palestinians themselves don't want it, and countries of the region don't want it. Gaza can be recovered and reconstructed. It is complicated, complex, but with political will and the right agreements, it can be done. And I'd like to remind everybody, Palestinians are phenomenal builders. They've even built illegal settlements.
One more question. According to some assessments, it would take 15 years or more to reconstruct Gaza. What's your ballpark?
Honestly, I don't know, and I'm not going to compete with the real estate experts here. There's a technical study. Our updated disaster and needs assessment has a ballpark which is phased between first 3 years for rubble removal, temporary housing, and then it goes on. Obviously, you only have to visit Gaza to see that it will take time and a lot of work needs to be done. But I'm not going to speculate if it's going to be 1 year more or less. It will always take more time in our experience. But that's not the point. Once you start, you create prospects, you create hope, you get people employed, you create the alternatives on the ground with and by the Palestinians, you have change. Thank you.
Thank you.